Oh man, it's been a crazy week, bro.
Yeah. I saw Mark last week.
Yeah, you told me. You were starting to tell me something about the game was good, and you told me everything. Well, hold on. Let's get this going. All right, we are ready to go live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Can't say my own name. Woo! Brought to you by, I'm so fired up. Brought to you by the Sportscast. Today's October 7th. Yesterday was my beautiful niece Jacqueline's birthday. Shout out to my baby girl Jacqueline in Staten Island. Happy birthday. If you haven't yet, please subscribe.
Birthday. Shout out to my baby girl Jacqueline in Staten Island.
You have this on the background?
Not no more.
Okay. All righty. So please subscribe to all our channels on YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Stitcher. Download Jersey Boy Sports Talk on your podcast channel on iTunes. Please leave a rating and a review. It'll help us out tremendously as we continue to enjoy as our Giant fans out there, as we're getting scolded a couple of weeks ago. At least I'm excited. I'll tell you that in a second. Please subscribe to YouTube Sportscast. That YouTube is probably the best. I know we're on Facebook because we know a lot of people on Facebook, but YouTube, you'll get notified immediately, or check out our events every Thursday at 8 p.m. Byron Jones and myself. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Please, we got our messages up. And I am ready to go, Mr. Jones. So how are you? You know, I'm always going to start to see how you're doing over there as the weather's starting to go down a little bit.
The weather's good now. It's like in the 70s. I could deal with it now.
That's funny. I had a training. I was talking to a lady in Toronto. She goes, "Oh man," I want to go to Toronto. She goes, "Yeah, I don't know if you don't want to come here now." I'm like, "It's only October."
It's cold already.
Oh boy. So we have, as we promoted the show, as you could say, you know, the only thing we're going to talk about today, right? We may talk about some things, but the only thing we're going to talk about today is this Dallas Cowboy Giant game coming up and your 0-9 predictions. So I'm gonna let you go first. You know, we get our stats and who talks or whatever. So go ahead, brother.
As far as
tell me what you thought of the game that just passed this week. Giants win. Both New York teams. So let's shout out to Richie Vargas, my boy, my brother from another mother.
Yes, the Giants look good. Danny Dimes looked like a franchise quarterback, unbeknownst that other people would say any other time. Andrew Thomas hasn't given up a sack yet. So the line has gotten a little better. Not where they're not running the ball. They still need to run the ball. Then you got all these receivers with the hamstrings, injuries or whatever's going on with that. The ones that came to play, Tony and Galladay and the whole crew, came to play, except for, Evan Ingram, Mr. Dropsy still.
Is it Slayton out too?
Yes, Slayton and the other Shepard.
Okay. I was I got some stat. I have my entire screen is stacked with tab after tab after tab after tab with Cowboy Giant stats. Okay.
The stats, man.
You know I'm gonna go stats because first of all, I'm fired up for today. I'm fired up because I was depressed for the last couple of days because the Yankees, they got to fire Aaron Boone. They should fire Cashman. His time is over. Okay, just fire him. I'm done. I was so disgusted. I won't even watch baseball right now. So I was mourning for 2 days straight. I couldn't even talk. Santiago, our producer, wanted to have a podcast about the game. I said I can't do it. I can't get back into that emotional state. So, but I was very happy with what I saw. I'm also very happy. It's been a tough season, Byron. You got to admit, I think the league the parity is so good. And I think that everyone is jumping so quick on many different things. And each week it changes. I mean, I've never been this so off in the NFL for this long, but I'm not the only one. I mean, who predicted that Arizona would be as good as they're being right now? We knew they'd be good. There's a difference between thinking they would be good. I had the Raiders last.
Yeah, look how well they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, the Rams were the team, the Super Bowl champions already, and look what happened to them. Right?
They're still the team to beat, though.
I'm not saying that they are or not. I'm just saying that each week, you know, there's a lot of surprises each week.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Baker Mayfield missing Odell Beckham. He keeps missing Odell Beckham. There's going to be a problem there.
Well,
right?
I think he's only thrown 2 touchdown passes too, Baker. So,
well, anyways, I was sticking with the Giants. So I was very happy with what I saw with the Giants. I was happy with what I saw with Baker. I mean, with Saquon. Very, very happy. I've been happy.
Whoa. You left one more name out.
I'm not finished yet. I ain't finished yet.
Because I want to hear you say it finally.
I am very happy and super impressed with Daniel Jones' play his play as it's been progressing. Okay. But I'm going to show you some stats. Okay. I don't want him to do bad though, Byron. I need you to understand that, but he has to. When I go to the stat line, you're going to see that how can I explain it? It's like, you know, I don't know how much you like baseball or not, but being a true Yankee fan, you know, unless you win it for me, right? Or you have it and you've come through when I needed you, then you're beloved. Like Aaron Boone's beloved for 1 home run. That's it. Okay. That's it. Reggie Jackson, they hated him. Boy, they love Reggie Jackson. His greatest years were at the Oakland A's. He's the 44 bomber. What was it? You know, he's phenomenal. So Daniel Jones, I'll show you some of the numbers he's had. So as he continues, then I'll have confidence. But it's not like we were in the red zone a lot. We were scoring long.
A touchdown is a touchdown.
I got you, but I'm just saying to you, I'll give him props. I'm happy. I want to see him do well. I really do. Right. I'm just not not yet until I see him consistently sliding like a normal quarterback. Okay. Until I see him not throwing, you know, not being in the red zone and making really poor decisions. Right.
Was he not the offensive player of the week this week?
Shoot, you threw pass for 400 yards.
I was just checking. I just wanted to know.
I gave him props for this week.
But you're still complaining about the red zone thing. It doesn't matter as long as he gets a touchdown.
All right, I'm done. You want to go right to that? Let's get right to that then. Okay, because remember, I'm comparing him now. I'm going to compare against Dak. By the way, we have Andres will probably be calling in soon. Our buddy Canadian cowboy buddy Jeff is going to probably be calling in. Jersey boys, Anthony. Finally, sorry I missed you, Anthony. We are ready. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. But look at the transition though. Your biggest thing was the old line. You just admitted. Why is it okay that I'm wrong? I say things that change. Your changes. Offensive line got better.
Yeah, but the offensive line is still a work in progress. They're still working. They're going to have the 4th different starting left guard this next game. The 4th.
There's no doubt. I agree with you from the get-go. But I'm saying to you is that you thought they were going to – this kid can't pass for 400 yards, bro. That line is just like paper towel, tissue paper.
Yeah, but what kind of – most of the passes he threw were what? They were quick. The ball got out of his hand. That's what he needed to do.
But that's a success of most quarterbacks. And that's what we agreed to when in the beginning of the year. We agreed to, how is that going to happen? He's going to get the ball quick. You even said, well, he ain't going to be able to throw it downfield. He ain't going to have enough time. He's throwing the ball downfield.
Yeah, because
Saquon's lighting up the passing yards.
Yeah, but look what they're mainly using him as.
Who?
Saquon, receiver.
Right, that's okay.
Yeah,
he's doing pretty good.
He's only averaging 3.6 yards a carry.
Okay, it's a little bit better, like 2.7 something.
No, it's 3.6.
Okay, but we're gonna go to that too. That's fine, not a problem. I got stats ready for you for Dak versus Jones. I got Ezekiel versus Saquon because you would have picked Ezekiel. and then I'm going to show you some of the challenges that I see there. So look, the line is getting better, and that's with them doing a Frankenstein line, right? Because technically they're just putting body parts together, right? Okay. Saquon is getting better each week. Okay. My biggest concern though, Byron, which has been for years already, is the defense. I mean, the number one, if we had to pick one thing going into this year, we all agreed, everybody, great grandchildren would agree that they'll look back here that the Giants started the season, they had the worst offense. They were ranked the last in the NFL in offensive line. They're not last now, I don't think. Okay. No. Okay. Number one. Number two. So we all agree with that. Three. One. Two. We thought the defense would be better. And now they're saying the Giants' defense is pretty good. Maybe it is because we're not allowing a lot of points, but at the same time, they're not stopping the offense when we need them to stop it. They're dropping interceptions, which are turnovers. I had this conversation with Santiago, and why I'm upset with Daniel Jones in the red zone, and he's got to prove it, is because when your team is not that good, and Byron, you know this better than me. When your team is not has a skill set differential, your margin for error is drops dramatically. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So you can't you gotta protect every ball. If you punt, you punt, but you cannot turn it over. You gotta give your defense some time. So I just think that things are coming together, and let's go through some of the numbers. But by the way, you still got them at 1-16? Just making sure.
Yes.
Okay, so he gets it straight. You had them at 7-10. You had them at 10-7. Yep. Then you went to 7-10. And then you went to 0 again. And then you said, no, okay, they win one game. Now they already won one game, and they're going to win this week. By the way, one of the commentators, I thought his name was Brad this morning, he picked the upset of the week. It's going to be the Giants beating the Cowboys.
Bart Scott, the linebacker. He used to play
Bart Scott. That's it. I can't even write his name down. And he got, how did you hear that? Because he really got like a text, like, you're a Dak hater. He goes, what are you talking about? Me and Dak were friends. He goes, he said a lot of things. What do you think of the key items what did he say were the key items he felt why he picked the G-men to win?
I don't remember that part. I just remember him just going off, saying that he's picking the Giants to win. It probably has, the defense. They got to block, to run the ball. They should be able to throw the ball on them. Just don't throw it at the kid. What was it? Trayvon Diggs, the one that's got like 5 or 6 interceptions. But as long as they come to play and don't turn the ball over and get some turnovers and don't let Dallas run the ball down the throat, they stand a chance.
They're an underdog by only like a touchdown and 7.5 points.
But they've always played well in Dallas. Always, even bad years, they've always played well in Dallas.
But you got to, of course. That's why it's no different than like the Eagles got our number, right? We seem to have Dallas's number, right? In Dallas. But you got to, at least the way Dallas and the way they're talking about the Cowboys play right now, you would think that the point spread would be a lot bigger.
Well, it's an NFC East, rivalry. Mm-hmm. They always play them close. Mm-hmm. And, you figure from last week, the success that Daniel Jones had last week, hopefully a carryover to this week. And that's probably what they're basing it all off of. If he comes to play and, doesn't turn the ball over, they get some turnovers, like I said before, in defense, they should be able to keep it close and win by, it should be close.
Okay. So the injury report, I'm going to bring it up in a little bit. Giants still got 13 players on an injury report that some can't play and some are just limited practice. Cowboys got 18.
And I think Diggs is one of them.
I believe so. Yes. Now I'm going to go with some other stats. Daniel Jones so far this season, obviously last week helped. He's at 1,184 yards passing. Dak is 1,066. Okay. That's pretty impressive because they're talking a lot more about Dak than they are about Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Okay. But I got to give Dak props. And I said it from the get-go. To me, he's the KD of the NFL. He comes back from these injuries and he's playing lights out. KD came back from an Achilles heel injury, and he was a terror in playoffs. So, I'm giving Dak some props. He's playing. He's earned his keep, his money. Let's go to Bar Scott. Okay, Jones, okay, Barkley, Morse. Okay, so and then one of the articles was saying that Barkley is more significant in the passing game than Ezekiel is to the Dallas.
Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, just
okay.
We can agree or disagree. I'm
confused. You're a flip flopper and everything.
No, you're right. Dude, you got 16. Everybody asked me. I don't understand. Here it goes. This Jersey boy. Which is his team? I got what the flavor of the week. I don't know. But his sisters are true diehard Giants fans. All right, so let me share some data with you, baby boy. All right, so let's look at the injury report first. All right. And this way we're in the zone. All right, you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah,
So here we go. The Giants, okay, Jabril Peppers, he did not play, so he's gone. Shepard, Slayton. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, and he put up 400 yards with these guys out last week. Caden Smith, limited practice, so that means he's coming back, no?
Yes.
Offensive tackle, Thomas, right? Was he on it last week? Okay, Leonard Williams, at least is gonna play.
He's still gonna play.
Thank God. And a limited full practice. So he went last week. Remember the game before? Yeah. He went limited practice before they played. Now he's the day before. He's at full practice. Because tomorrow it's going to be nothing, right? Offensive lineman, another guy. Who's this guy?
That was the third starting left guard. This is the guy they got from Baltimore.
Okay, so he's got limited practice. That means he's going to be available.
And he missed last week. Okay, we got a DB, limited practice. I don't know who this kid is. He's the special teams whiz.
Okay. Okay, Galladay may be coming back. He's at full practice.
He's hurt every week, man. There's something wrong with him every week.
Yeah, he did all right last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah. Okay, and then wide receiver. So look at. Remember last week we had 8 starters out of 13.
But you got a bunch of starters there too.
Yeah, but they're all. But look at none of them. The only 2 that are going to be out are going to be 3. 2 receivers, which you got to love your hamstrings, and then Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, but that one's a big one, Peppers.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because
we can't afford any defensive players.
No, especially the one that usually covers the tight end, and Dallas does have a pretty good tight end.
Okay, and then here's the guys in Dallas, right? Did not practice. Amari Cooper did not practice. That means he's out, dude.
No, not necessarily. He might play.
Really? I thought if he didn't practice by Wednesday. Oh, this is only Wednesday.
Yeah. Today's
Thursday. Oh, why do I have Thursday for the Giants, but I don't have Thursday for the?
They probably didn't send theirs out.
Oh, yeah, because they're being sneaky. Typical Dallas. Hold on a second. Okay, so you got Trevon Diggs. Oh, he's playing. He's not the one you thought he was going to be out?
Yeah, that's the one that's got all interceptions, too.
No, he's full practice, so he's playing. Ezekiel did not practice, so he's got a knee, but that's when he's going to play. Yeah. Defensive end, limited practice. Attack. Yeah.
They're all.
Okay, and then limited practice, full participant, injured reserve. So, IR's injured reserve. I don't see any injured reserves.
Nope.
That's I guess for the week, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a game. Get tickets on sale, man. Let's get them going. All right, so we got that. Now let's go into some other interesting pieces here. Okay, so we got Daniel Jones, and I have Dak Prescott. We good?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Look, Dak is putting up numbers, but look, my argument and your argument about Daniel Jones is going to wash itself out, and we're both going to be correct. Now, the only thing that you may, and I hope so, you may be more you'll have more bragging rights, I guess, if he turns into that franchise quarterback that he has the possibilities because you called it first, right? But okay, if you look at it, this is where I'm getting the numbers, which I'm pretty impressed because Dak, it looks like Dak is just lighting it all up, and he's got 1184 passing yards, right?
That's Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah, Daniel Jones. So it's 1184 passing yards, and then Dak has
1066.
1066. He's got 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Daniel Jones. Okay, so this is why he's got less than half of the touchdowns. He's got 1 interception. Okay, but this is where my problem was. Look at his career, the way it started, and how can you tell me that I don't have faith, especially when they were already bad as a team? He had 18 fumbles, 11 were lost. Most of them were probably in the red zone. Second year, hold on a second. He had 11 fumbles, 6 lost. Look, I would have taken that as interceptions or something, but to have fumbles, Byron, that's where my problem is.
Yeah, you need to go where the problem is. Look at his first year, how many times he was sacked? 38.
He was sacked 38 times.
Last year, 45.
What's SSC?
Sack yardage. Like whatever yards they lost on with a sack.
So pretty much 3 football fields.
Yeah, pretty much. But he still hit 38 times. That's a lot.
Okay, great. And then it went down. It went up. Where's sacks? It went up, and then he got 11. And now he with the worst offensive line that we've had, he's only just sacked 8 times.
Right.
Okay, and his fumbles are down, but those 3 fumbles are lost and one of those interceptions he has. Oh no, that's a TD. Where's his interceptions? He's only got 1 interception this year.
So far.
Okay, where was it?
Huh?
Where was the interception?
When they threw the Hail Mary.
No, it wasn't. Was it? No, it wasn't.
No, the Hail Mary. That's what I thought.
No.
Did you watch the game?
If he's only got 1 interception, this is for this year, right?
Yeah, he threw the last one he threw was the Hail Mary at the end of the quarter, the last game. That's the interception.
Then these numbers aren't up to date because then he should have a second interception.
Man.
What? He threw the interception in the end zone. What are you talking about?
It says 4 games. Look all the way to the right. I mean, to the left.
I could swear he threw an interception in the end zone again. All right, we'll go back to that. Okay, so that was one of my problem is the fumble pieces. The rest of it's pretty good. He's got a passer rating so far this year of 98.3, right? Dak's killing him on TDs, right? But he's climbing up. Now look at Zach here. Dak, right? Okay. He's not even close to any of those. Look at it. He's got 25 sacks. He had 56 sacks.
That's a lot.
In 2018, he still had 12. He had 12 fumbles.
But he still fumbled, didn't he?
But Daniel Jones fumbling a lot as well. Look at he got sacked 23, 25, 32 times, only 4. So he's a little either stronger or whatever the deal is. But he's got a passer rating of he's like 100 and something.
Yeah, 116.9.
Where is it?
Right.
116.9. Yeah. So I mean, he's Daniel Jones is playing pretty well with him, other than the overall piece that I think he's playing pretty good, other than the fact that we're not throwing enough touchdowns, right? Like Dak is just lighting it up.
Who has a better line? Who has a better line though, right now?
Dallas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just checking.
No. We know that beginning, right? Okay, so that's my issue with the fumbles. Let's get those down. Yes, it relates to sacks, but he's been sacked a lot too. And see 50, what did I say? 56 times, bro. He was looking 56 times. He had 12 sacks. He was sacked 38 times. He had 18.
Okay.
So anyhow, let's get better. All right. So we got Ezekiel, right? Which is when we agreed to disagree. Like Petro, myself, we all agree we take Barkley. Okay. Ezekiel right now, he's got 342 yards, 53 yards passing, right? So what's that? Close to 400 total. Okay. And Saquon,
about 200, maybe.
he's got 130 yards. He's got 200 and 130 yards. So I mean, that's 3.
No, that's 130 yards receiving.
Right, but so I put in total. I got to put the total.
But look at that one key number. Look at that 3.6, and then go back to Ezekiel and look what he's doing.
Okay, let's go. Let's go to that. But look at his long is 54 yards. He's got 1 fumble. His long is 54 yards receiving, and then there's no long. It's only receiving. There's no long running. Okay, and look at his attempts. Okay, so if we go into the weeks, he's got 10, 13, 16, 13. I mean, they're still warming him up. That's why they're throwing the ball to him. Look at Ezekiel. He's got 11, 16, 17, 20. Look, 143 yards.
And he's splitting carries with Pollard.
And he's splitting. Yeah, but they're giving the ball to more than Ezekiel.
But
more than Saquon.
Yeah, but okay. What
7.1.
What is Saquon's average?
Well, here's the average.
So far. 5.3.
No, yeah, he's 5.3.
Yeah. And
right.
And Saquon's is what? 3.6.
Right.
Big difference.
Oh, now you say that, but when he said he was averaging 4 yards a carry before, you said it was different.
3.6.
Okay, so then let's see. Okay, he's he's a 5, right? Because of his last game at 7.1. He had 3, 4.4, 5.6.
Yeah, and it's still, well, go to Saquon.
Okay? Saquon 4.4, 3.2, and 4. So he's at 4, dude. Saquon. Look at Saquon's first game. He had 10 carries. He's got
the first game.
He's got a total of.
Are you looking at the right thing? Go back. Come on, bring it.
He's got 52 carries.
Yeah, and what is it? And look at his first average against the Broncos, 2.6.
He got 10 carries. He just came back.
He averaged 2.6. I don't care if he just came back. Or whatever it is.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think you're crazy. Okay, and then look at this is Saquon. Okay, look at Saquon. He averaged what? 3, 4.4, 5.6. But look at 11, 16. Look at his total attempts.
That's Ezekiel, man. You keep messing it up.
Ezekiel, I meant Zeke. I said he's got 64 attempts. He's got like 12 more attempts. He's got 3 more attempts per game.
How many more yards he's got? He's got 342.
Right. And
Saquon hasn't even busted 200 yet.
Okay, yeah. So what? But Saquon's got 130 yards receiving. We're using him as receiving right now. He's going to get there. And he's had a few call back. He's going to light it up. He's probably well over. I forgot the number. I still believe Saquon's going to have just as good and a better year than Ezekiel. And then Ezekiel, hold on. In addition to that, he's got the offense. So now you got to worry about the run. You know, they're worried about the pass more than the run right now. And I was saying that in the beginning, and so was other people. Oh, who's coming in, Jeff? All right. Maybe Jeff will tell you. Jeff will come in. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I didn't hear it either. You there? Jeff? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, Jeff, take your video. Can you hear us? Jeff, we can't hear you.
I know.
I can't.
I was watching your other stream, so I had to close all that off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are killing me. You guys are absolutely killing me. You guys look at one number in isolation of everything. You're like, oh, look at do you look at the entire body of work? No, you go, oh, look, you don't look at the entire thing. You're looking, Zeke only had a couple of rushes in the first game. That's because he wasn't asked to rush. He was in there to block. Byron made a good point. He's in there splitting the reps with Pollard. Why? Because it's a 17-game season. It is a long season. Three of our last 4 games are division games. They're there's road games. So yeah, are we? And so a couple of years ago, people are going, oh, look at Zeke's running it 40 times a game. You can't do that. You got to have a second running back. Now we have a second running back, and he's splitting loads. Oh, look at Zeke. Zeke's dead. Pollard's getting all the carries. No one's ever happy. No one is ever happy except people who actually know what we're talking about. So yes, they're going to split the load. Zeke had 20 carries, $143, slightly less than the one that everyone thinks is the greatest person in the world, Mr. Henry, and he had a lot more carries than Zeke. So again, you can't look at and I've told you this before, you look at a single number and you base it on that. You got to look at the entire body of work. That's all I'm saying. You can't look at one saying, oh, well, look, you were talking about Dak being sacked years ago when we had a poor line. When our line was riddled with injury.
No, yeah, but hold on a second. You were missing that point. The point of him being sacked 56 times was the comparison. Hold on, was the comparison to Daniel Jones being sacked 38 times, but fumbling 18. So it was actually a compliment to Dak, not a dig. It was a ratio between sacks and fumbles. Byron and I's issue with Daniel Jones is that I don't trust him in the red zone. So that's where that came in with that. You understand? Best dad. All right. So Jeff, the other thing is you have to take it in a whole, but you also have to not take it in a whole. That's probably a bad way to say that. You got to look at it as in the big picture, but you also have to look at it in single games. I am telling you that if Dallas continued the way I thought they were doing and not giving Ezekiel the carries that he got last time, it was going to be an issue. The fact that they gave him the carries, I thought that was great. So I'm commenting and look at he's going up in carries. My problem is that Saquon's probably just not ready yet to give enough to take the ball enough times. Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Whoa. Look at the
why if he's not ready, then he wouldn't be playing.
There you go.
No, they're gonna ease him in. There are no running backs gonna get hit like that. Come on now. Nobody's gonna do
Look at the different running style. Ezekiel Elliott is a hammer. He's gonna go. Yeah. He plants his foot and he goes. Yeah. How many games have we watched Saquon run up to the line, dance to the side, dance to the other side, and then it lose 2 or 3 yards? He's 235 pounds. Yeah. Run up in there. That's part of the problem. Go.
Yeah. And that's what makes Pollard great is Pollard is that fast guy that can get out. They're not. Yeah, Zeke will do a bounce out. He'll do that. But yeah, you're going to give the ball to Zeke and he's going to jam it down your throat. And I have no problem if he only gets 15 carries and Pollard gets 15 carries or even 20 carries. Yes, I have Zeke in all my fantasy leagues. That's okay. I don't care because it's all about the end game. It's all about getting to January when defenses are tired and Zeke is fresh and he's going to jam it. And did I hear you, Victor, say Dallas has a good tight end? You find a team that has two. You find a team that has 2 good tight ends like we do.
No, I didn't mention anything about tight ends.
Well,
you did too. Earlier in the show, when you were looking at and you said, "Oh yeah, Dallas has a good."
I did not mention anything about tight ends. Byron stated.
I said something about a tight end that they do have a good tight end.
No, we have several good tight ends.
I just know of the one.
And don't forget, we're doing all of this.
What's Pollard's first name so I can find it or what number?
Tony
Pollard. And don't forget, we're doing all of this without Michael Gallup. Wait till Michael Gallup comes back. And our defense is playing not bad. We don't have DeMarcus Lawrence. We don't have Canadian Neville Gilmore. So you got
the defensive rookie of the year.
Who's got more touchdowns than his brother. How about that? How's that going over at home?
Let's look at Pollard.
The defensive guy has more touchdowns than his wide receiver brother.
Yeah. So Jeff. So my argument with the carries and one, I still think that Dallas. I'm not a Dallas fan at all. I wanted them to lose.
Really?
Okay. But I still was as a fan and a sports podcaster. I thought he needed to get some carries, and then this kid came in. And they even made a comment. They made the same comment we made. They made the comment they made on the announcers that maybe Ezekiel got tired. Everybody talking about Tony Pollard, and he started stacking it up. So look, look at this kid here. I mean, here he's got 3 13, 11, and 10. So Ezekiel had 20 and 10. So they're not splitting them. They started splitting them. Now it's going more towards Ezekiel, right? So you don't know if there was something there.
And every game is going to be different. Every team. Now, don't forget, they played the Panthers, who had reportedly the number one defense. The number one defense against the run. They had only given up 50 yards a game to running backs in their first 3 games. Now, I know
he's averaging 6.8 carry.
I know who they played. So I know exactly what all the stats are. Again, it's a long season. It's an even longer season. The longest season we've ever had. So yes, split the carries. Let Tony carry the rock a bunch of times.
You're talking to a Giant fan that we had 3 awesome running backs for a time. Okay. I mean, we had them stacked. So I want to run the ball. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with any of it. My issue is I want Saquon to get the ball more or keep passing to him. The problem is when they pass,
then you gotta call my boy Jason, and you gotta
he's your boy Jason around. He's your boy. Boy, this is probably the best move he can do. Well, let's see if he's going to click something, because Daniel Jones put up 400 yards. So look, here we go. We got
the problem you have to worry about is that on offense, you have to admit we have a lot of weapons, and Kellen Moore is just calling really good games. And yes, Dak's had some bad throws. Yes, there's been some penalties that have hurt us. Again, we don't have La'el Collins, so we've got a younger guy in there taking his place. Once La'el comes back, if he ever comes back, I don't know who he's bribing these days, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Now he's suing somebody and now he's put a restraining order. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't care. But okay, yes, and you're not even going to mention the big move to get rid of Jalen yesterday.
Yeah, we're getting that though.
Oh, you're gonna get to that. I haven't seen the show notes.
We're gonna get to that, Brian.
You're gonna get. I have my own opinions. I have my own opinions on that.
So I think this is good. I'm okay. Hey, listen. This is the art of sport is debate, right? So again, for me, I do believe that, hey, if you're gonna keep passing and passing and passing, right? When you got a guy like Ezekiel, and then you got this kid Tony Pollard, you got 2 guys averaging. What was Ezekiel averaging?
5 or 6, 5 point something.
And you said the kid is averaging 6. You got 2 running backs averaging over 5 yards a carry. Okay, I mean,
that's okay. But we also got the great wide receivers, so mix it up. Throw a little pass, throw a little bit, and then Dak. You haven't even talked about Dak running the ball. Dak running the ball. Did you see the play in the last game where it looked like Zeke was going to get tackled for a loss? He just tossed it to Tony, because they're putting both of them in. They're putting both of them in and seeing what happens. Right. Yep. And then we got our tight ends, and you just don't know who do you pick your poison? Kellen Moore and Dak's seeing the field like he's never seen it before. It's just, he's just going to rip you apart. And if it wasn't for a bad, questionable penalty, we'd be 4-0.
Just so we go back to your sacks, the issue wasn't how bad you guys were in the sacks. Again, the 56 to 12 fumbles to Daniel Jones's 32 or 38 to 18 fumbles. That was where my problem was. Okay, number 1. Number 2, Dak here is, where's his rushing?
He's not. There's no reason for him to run the ball. Only when
he just mentioned it, so I'm gonna look at it.
But he only has to run the ball when he needs to. He in the past there was designed.
You brought it up though.
I know. I brought it up. I know. I brought it up. So his running should be a lot lower this year, because he's only running strategically.
Why don't I see running anything here? It's not there.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at? You're
looking at rushing. It's only Dak.
Okay. I don't know.
What are the stats? You have stats?
Yeah, it's right here. Stats. I'm in stats. And it's not saying anything. Completion attempts, yards, TDs, they rate, yards, average, TD,
fumbles. Quarterback. I guess they don't record his rush. They don't.
No, they do record the rushes, just not on here.
I know. I think they're not. I mean, that's what I mean on here.
Yeah,
maybe go to Espin or something.
I'll research this a little bit more later, Byron, for you. Situational. This is what scares me. Okay, is opponents. His the opponent's 19-1. He's at 30. Okay, look at this. Situational. Okay. Opponents at the young. Look at he's at 70. His percentage.
Okay. All right. We're finished passing. Now think about this. What does
Wait,
Dak
whoa.
have?
I just want. I need you to hold on. I got something coming in here.
No.
Hello, welcome to Jersey Boy Sports
hello.
Talk. Andre.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Andre, welcome to Jersey Boy Sportscast. I'm sorry, go ahead, Byron. You going to say something? And then Jeff, I need you to make a comment on where I'm at in between. Go.
With the Dallas Cowboys, right? Inside the 10, well, what is that? Inside the 20-yard line? Who do they have that's more reliable than Ingram? I'd rather have either one of the Dallas Cowboy tight ends inside the 20 than Evan Ingram and Kyle Rudolph at this point in time. True or not true?
True.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Now, Jeff, let me tell you why I brought that up. Byron wants me to the jury for me with Daniel Jones until he's consistently performance. And my biggest problem is inside the red zone, which these numbers show. That was the point that I've been bringing up and that's why the 18 fumbles, the sacks, and then I had to look at Dax to see what he had. Now maybe Dak is just stronger. I don't know what the deal is. But my concern is inside the red zone. It's like Ezekiel last year. Tell me that, Jeff. Let me ask you a question, and Andre, I want you to go. Tell me, Jeff. Seeing how many times he fumbled last year, Ezekiel, right?
Yes.
That becomes a little concern going into the year. And now, if he doesn't do it, if he does it again, you get nervous. If he doesn't, then you feel uncomfortable. But you want to feel comfortable knowing he's not going to have that many fumbles again. Is that fair?
That is 100%. Yep.
Okay, that's my concern with Daniel Jones.
It's not just Zeke. It's any player. Yes. Remember Tiki Barber had the fumbleitis, and then they repositioned how he held the ball and basically regenerated his career. He's a giant boy, right? So
but
Tiki Barber.
The difference between it's not just any player though, okay? Because Ezekiel will only get X amount of times where he touches the ball. The quarterback, unless it's a wild whatever, what do you call the wildcat, right? Daniel Jones touches the ball 100% of the times. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my only argument with you, Byron, is that I go deep ball and score, but don't go in the red zone. Andre.
That was my issue with Derek Carr because he fumbled a lot, right? And he still, again, just spreading it out. That was always my challenge with Derek Carr is because and people would say, well, he touches the ball every play. Of course, he's going to potentially fumble it more than a running back or whatever, right? So I think if you looked at last year's top fumblers, yes, Zeke was in the middle, but all around him was all quarterbacks, to your point.
Right. My issue is not just the quarterbacks. And Andre, I need you to let you go. It was just inside the red zone. It's not just the fumbling. It's the bad decisions. It's throwing in an interception. It's just inside the red zone. He's just terrible. Andre?
Well, you guys got to remember that they did change his center last year.
Yep.
And he doesn't have that continuity just yet. It takes a full season and a half to get continuity with getting your ball, grabbing it, being able to go ahead and not pat it, because that was always his problem in college.
Who you
he
talking
patted
to?
That ball.
About Dak? Or Daniel
I'm talking about any quarterback right now. I'm talking about any quarterback. But your buddy Jones, he had a center change over with the Giants, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes. What are you talking about? We got a Frankenstein. We got a different line person every week, right, Byron? I don't think we had the same lineman. I don't think we had the same person in the same position every game.
The fourth different left guard this week. The fourth different guy. They changed the
and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, you guys went through last year 3 centers. 3.
Yes.
How does the guy get a continuity of getting the ball consistently? Because every center is going to push it through in a different angle. I don't care how much you try to train them to do it a certain way. They each have their own mechanism, their own way of delivering the ball to the quarterback. That it takes a while It doesn't matter how many pre-snaps before practice, how many practice snaps, how many. It's the game snaps. Mm-hmm. It takes a year and a half for that continuity. And the one who said it best was Vinny Testaverde. Mm-hmm. He used to go ahead and he used to force his centers to have to come over to his house during the off season and just practice snaps during the off season. Because he wanted to continue practicing the snaps, because he said, I might not be the greatest quarterback, but I'm not going to be fumbling snaps.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah, because there's two pieces to the operation. There's the center snapping, and then where the quarterback is expecting the ball to be, and how does he want it? Where are the laces? Right. All of that contributes to it. Right. Understanding the cadence, knowing when he's dropping back. So you make some good points, Andre.
Yeah, so my only thing is that the fumbles that I've seen, I'm not worried about. I mean, obviously, I don't want him. His fumbles have gone down, right? But that's just fumbles. It's his. It's think about even this year, he's finally starting to slide like a quarterback. But we're gonna go back and forth. That was where me and Byron keep going because he wants me to call him the franchise quarterback, and I'm not going to do that until he believes it. But Byron said they were going to go 0-9.
Oh, we're gonna start that again.
0-9. Byron said
1-16. Okay.
Now he's 1-16. They're gonna beat Dallas. Jeff, you're okay, Andre. Why do you think Dallas is only a 7.5 a point differential favorite? That seems low for a team to just lighten it up.
Well, part of the problem is Jason Garrett.
No, it's the opposite.
Think about this.
Oh, because he knows I got
that defense knows that offense. Those players.
So shouldn't it be higher spread?
No, because Dallas doesn't have the talent that everybody thinks Dallas has.
Oh, Jeff, there you go.
Oh, Jeff.
Dallas is a Monet. Good from far from good.
Okay. Interesting. I thought they were impressive to me. To me, the test that I wanted to see was the Panthers, and I thought they panned it to the Panthers. That's when I said, okay, this team is real.
We are one bad referee called penalty away from being 4-0.
True.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm one offsides from being 2-2, and I'm one field goal from being 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So coming into it, I feel pretty comfortable. And I'm one dropped all in your hands touchdown from being 2-2.
Woulda, shoulda, woulda.
I'm just saying, man, we can get exactly. So it is what it is. I mean, look at the Chiefs. But
was Carolina was Carolina as good as everyone thought? Were they as a good them and Broncos? Were they good 3-0 teams? Like, look who they played. No offense, but look at their So everyone kept saying, "Oh, look at they've only given up 50 yards rushing." Well, look who they were playing, and yes, and it was a lot closer at the end. It was all garbage time points, But you
could say the same for Dallas. That's what I was saying about until they played the Panthers.
Yeah,
I thought the Panthers had a pretty good team, and remember, Darnold was lighting it up, right? So, I wanted to see it, and I tell you, Dallas's defense is way better than I was expecting.
Well, let's talk about the defense. Jalen Smith. I want to hear about that, there, Jeff. What was going on with that, Jeff?
I love Jalen. He's a great story. Everyone knows the story how he got injured in Notre Dame, and Dallas drafted him and kept him on the bench for the year, redshirted him and just rehabbed him and brought him back. But this is a different defense. I just not, his playing time had dropped almost in half, the number of snaps. I don't think he quite fit the Dan Quinn system. And I think him being released, says that, normally Jerry that's not a Jerry move. Jerry hangs on to guys, maybe sees what happens at the end of the year. I know there was some restructuring talk. I know there was the injury provision, but they let him go, a quarter of the way through the season. And because I think they've got some other players, whether it's the rookie Jabril Cox, whether it's these are guys that Dan Quinn knows. He wasn't a Dan Quinn guy, and I guess Dan just didn't think that he fit where he was, and that's why his number of snaps were going down, and free up the spot for one of the other someone else that Dan has brought in either as a rookie or brought with them over from Atlanta, and see what they can do. I'm sad to see him, go, but you could see there was a number of times that he either was confused or whatever out there.
Hold on one second. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Agree, and I'll add this snippet to this. He was starting to mess up in special teams practices.
Yeah.
And that's a no-no in Jerry's world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jerry won't let you go if you're going ahead and giving it all out every practice.
Yeah. Correct.
But if you're messing up in special teams practices and in special teams, you're a liability. Once you become a liability, that man's going to take care of his pocketbook.
Yeah.
So what do you think this week, Andre? Who you picking? Dallas, Giants.
I have to say Dallas by a field goal.
Wow.
By a field goal.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you think?
Why do you even ask? I'm already on record saying they're going to go 14-3 or 13-4, depending on the end of the season. I'm already,
But by how many?
I was going to say 14, but I think they may come back and get a few garbage points near the end when, like Carolina did. It'll probably be somewhere between 4 and 10 by the end of the game. But I think they will get out to a big lead, and I think by the end, they'll take out a few of the, like Trayvon Diggs was not playing the last, half quarter, and stuff like that, right? So I somewhere between 4 and 10 is it's going to be more than 3. It could be as high as 14. It could be. It all depends on which Daniel Jones shows up. But I think Kellen Moore. I think they're just they're scoring 40 points a game, and I don't think your defense can. I don't think your defense can stop them. And as I said, I think early in the season, I said our first game was at Tampa. Then we play 8 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. So
Byron, what do you got?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like I usually do. The Giants ain't going to be able to cover their tight end, and they're going to put a 40 piece on the Giants.
And what are the Giants going to score?
Not enough. They're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. You know who I'm going with.
Yeah, I know.
The Giants are going to win. I'm the only one on this board. The Giants are going to win in Dallas by at least 3, if not 6.
Points?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to win. They're going to win the game. They're going to progressively improve. They're going to win the game. We're going to see.
Peppers is not playing right. The safety. What do they usually have problems with?
Listen to me. I don't understand. We had 2 or 3 starting offensive receivers out last week, and he put up 400 yards.
Okay. They're playing Dallas Cowboys this week. It's a difference.
Let's see. Let's see. Because right now, I'll be honest with you. Obviously this was a fun podcast because who we're going against. But just in general, back to Jeff's point earlier, and Andre, maybe you could share some light on it. But every week, it's a new number 1 team. The Rams were the number 1 team. Before that, now Arizona, and Arizona looks good. That was surprising. Then it was LA. And then, each week is look how bad Kansas City's doing. Is anyone on this right now would predict that Kansas City be in the position they're in right now?
Well, when Andy Reid had his health problems, that has a lot to do with it. Andy Reid, it's sad to say, Andy Reid's got more problems than just his health. His son is trying to stay out of jail.
Yeah.
And so he's got that sideshow going on, and then he's also got the sideshow of his health.
What's Andy Reid,
the man's the size of a planet. His son his son got a DUI and
killed a little girl.
Yeah, and they're
Man,
there's no love for that right now.
I mean, he had his son commit suicide in Philadelphia in the locker room.
Yeah, like I said, I have a immense love and respect for Andy Reid. I've met him about a handful of times. He's a man of faith, and I know his faith is being tested as we speak.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think each week all the games are really good. I think that kid Justin Herbert he's the real deal.
Yeah,
he's the real deal, man. And then and not only that, he's the real deal, and he's huge. On the opposite side, Tyler Murray, I'm impressed. I mean, because he's tiny. I thought Drew Brees was small. He's tiny, and he's pulling it off. I mean, there's a lot of impressive, play going on, and I'm just like I said, the first 4 weeks of the season, it was tough picking these games.
Well, I think we got some pretty nice matchups this year.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
I think this year, statistically speaking, is going to be interesting, especially with the monkey wrench of the COVID list and whatnot. I mean, even as I speak to you right now, the COVID list is growing on who's out.
Yeah, really, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
there are 34 names on that list right now.
Any place in particular?
LA Chargers.
Question:
They got 4 guys.
Really?
Why is Calvin Ridley not flying to England? It said for personal reasons. Is that because he's unvaccinated and can't travel?
That is correct.
That was. I didn't know if that was the official. I don't know if that's the official answer or if that's just speculation, Andre. But that was a question when I saw on the wire that he wasn't traveling with the team. So okay, yeah, there's only a handful of games in England. I understand that, but you make a good point.
Well, the Bills have 3 guys on the list. It's a
longer season. And I don't know about Andre. I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I think they're going to still win the division because I don't think the Raiders or Broncos are as good as they're not as good as their record makes them out to believe.
True.
Chargers are the real deal.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Chargers are the real deal.
Yeah.
I think the team that.
What do you think about Arizona?
Watch out for. Oh man, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can put a ball on the spot. What's going to happen is let's see how well that defense can hold up. I mean, yeah, they got the freak of nature at defensive end that everybody's having a double team and triple team.
Yeah.
But how many more surgeries has that man gone through? How many surgeries has he gone through in the last 5 years? At the end of the day, I say they've always had an offense. Mm-hmm. It's how long can that defense hold up? Because that scheme is not amazing. It's very basic. It's just working because they have a freak of nature at defensive end.
They were mentioning can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
They were mentioning something about the offensive coordinator, that it took some time for that offense to start really coming together to click. Well, it's about that.
Well, I mean, think about this. Kyler Murray last year was his rookie year. What was his second year in?
Mm-hmm.
And, he was coming from a gunslinging Oklahoma team that, I mean, he was told just throw it up there and put it on the money. And there were times, I don't know if you guys have seen these highlights, but there's about 9 infamous drops where he is literally throwing the ball 40 plus yards, and he's either hitting the wide receiver in the helmet or hitting them dead on in their hand. Like, what as a wide receivers coach, what do you tell your head coach? Sorry, coach, it hit him in a bad spot. Like, seriously, you couldn't put it in better money. I mean, seriously, the dude is throwing dimes back there. As long as they protect the man, he's putting the ball in the money. and people thought his height was going to be a problem. He's proving, him, Russell Westbrook, not Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry,
Wilson.
the dude, Russell Wilson,
who just threw an interception, but that was not his fault. But
Yeah.
it went off of Lockett's
Come on,
hands.
man.
But whatever. Just
come
saying.
on, man. But you got all these great quarterbacks that are not that tall, that are just flinging it. I mean, and you know what? They're mobile, so let them be.
Yep.
Well, I think if Lamar Jackson he should just study those players.
He's an MVP, man. You have to study nobody.
He's an MVP 2 years ago.
Lamar Jackson. He still was MVP though.
2 years ago.
He was still MVP. He's still
He can't be MVP every year.
Nah.
He can't be MVP every year.
I don't think that until that guy until he starts figuring out how to pass, and then take it to the run, I think he's going to always have problems. We'll see. So Byron, what else, Byron? Give us some parting words as we wrap this up, getting ready for It's so exciting. I don't even know what I'm going to cook. I'm so excited. I'm already thinking about what I'm cooking.
You know what I'm cooking? Nothing.
That's because you're not a Giant fan.
That's right. I'm not a Giant fan this week.
Everybody heard it. Everybody heard him say it this week. He says it. He always doubts my fans. He always doubts my loyalty to Big Blue.
They're going to get it put on him, man.
They're going to win the game.
Okay.
They're going to win and they're going to win the East. I'm still sticking with them winning the NFC East. So, all right, well, guys, hey, Andre.
If it doesn't happen, I am going to fill your Twitter feed. So you should just mute me because and I've already been filling your Twitter feed, as you may have noticed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, his chicken wing is just fine, Dak.
Yeah.
If that's Dak with a hurt wing, you better hope it never gets better. The way he's flinging it around out there.
Okay.
Well, I'll be cooking a tomahawk chop steak because every team in Florida except for UCF seems to suck this year, and since it's just really bad, so I might as well just enjoy a tomahawk chop and root on my alma mater, Air Force, and see and just enjoy that.
Yeah.
No, Andre, who is your favorite team?
Well, I played for Air Force.
Okay.
So they're my alma mater, and they will always be my alma mater. But growing up, I was a Miami fan, and right now, it's very hard to be a Miami fan with that crap going on down there.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Well, look at Florida State. I didn't think Florida State would be that bad. Yeah, Florida State should have won against Notre Dame, and then after that, they just went and lost to Jacksonville State. Byron.
Yep.
Okay, wait, Victor. Have you ever seen the record of Jacksonville State and how far they go into the FCS playoffs every year? And how many guys drop off from the Big Ten, the SEC, from all the Power Fives and just end up in this little place in Jacksonville, Alabama?
Really?
It's known as It's known as the last resort for some of those guys. It's the Alabama of it might not be North Dakota State, but they are
Appalachian State's pretty
powerhouse.
good too.
Appalachian State is the Sun Belt, my man. You're thinking that's an FBS program.
Mm-hmm.
If they could figure out how to beat North Dakota State and the North Dakota States in the world and the James Madisons of the world, Jacksonville State would have 5 or 6 national championships.
Andre, is Trey Lance going to start for the 49ers?
As of right now, he's been taking the majority of the snaps. I believe he will start.
Okay.
Unless Jimmy says no, I want to start because he knows if he doesn't start, Trey ain't gonna give it up. I think.
So?
I don't believe that you're gonna go ahead and throw that cat in there, and if he does well, you're gonna just go ahead and bench him. You just, it's the numbers are against Jimmy right now. If Jimmy all of a sudden, takes the miracle shot and says, I'm gonna play,
I'm good.
you got to go with the guy who's got you there.
But
listen to me. It's funny. They mentioned that Andy.
Okay, go ahead.
They mentioned that Andy Dalton was going to be the starter, and then after this week, and you got to give what's his name, Nagy, credit. He fired himself as offensive coordinator, and put this other guy in, and what's his name, Justin Fields, lit it up.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think Andy Dalton's quite 100% yet. And I think, does not Shanahan not subscribe to the Belichick, you don't lose your job due to injury kind of perspective? And if you're back from injury, you get the job back, which is why, remember, he put Bledsoe back in when Tom had taken over, and then Tom eventually took the reins for good. But right when Tom got the job because Bledsoe was injured, Bledsoe got back, he got the job back. So do you think I know, I'm just asking. No,
I thought it was a name that Andy Dalton's coming back, he's going to start. And then I thought it was recently saying, no, now Justin Fields is going to be the starter.
But I don't think Andy, I don't know. I'm not sure if Andy Dalton's 100% and be able to start. But
Tom Brady was not a first round pick, guys.
Sixth. What do you got, Byron?
As far as
anything,
there was a phone call made from the front office at the Chicago Bears saying this kid's gonna play. I don't care what's wrong with Andy Dalton. I'm sure that the 90-year-old lady that's
Mrs. McCaskey is calling down and saying,
I'm telling you, okay, then I had it right. They mentioned that no, Andy Dalton's gonna come when he comes back, he's gonna be the starter, and then it seemed to have switched like that.
Yeah, true. George Papa Bear was Papa Bear Hollis, was a daughter or grand, whatever she is, said he's playing. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. Well, you got to give a head coach credit when he fires himself as offensive coordinator, and the kid lights it up the following game.
Breaking news from the Jersey Boys Sports Talk Show: Virginia McCaskey Hollis is calling down and making player personnel decisions. You heard it here first, folks.
Won't be the first time.
Awesome. All right, guys. Let's wrap this up again. Thank you for joining. I'm Jeff, Andre, as always. We'll have some fun this weekend on Twitter. Jeff and the crew will be going back and forth. I'm going to be smiling and dialing or crying.
You better mute me, because I'll be sending you my pregame TikToks. I will be sending you.
I'm ready.
Mr. Leone, I sent him a couple of my pregame TikToks, and I will. I can send. I've been bombarding your. I know, Byron, you don't tweet that much. I know you were nice enough to reply to one of my tweets. I understand that, but
one time.
All right, so let's get this going. Hey guys, we want to always make a reminder each and every week about our soldiers, our first responders, especially with the craziness that's going on in today's world. The Gary Sinise Foundation.org. Freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all we can to extend our hand in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide that freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show gratitude to our nation's defenders, we can always do a little bit more. Gary Sinise, GarySinise.Foundation.org. Please go there. $1, $2, whatever you can will help out one of our first responders. And, with this world going crazy between the COVID, between shootings, between craziness, whatever we can do. Remember to join us next week. Next Thursday, when you will hear us, and the Giants will be 2-2, and Byron will then lost another week at 7 p.m. Please join our show. You call in, leave messages, and text us. We're very excited for this weekend. It's going to be a great football season. Andre, Jeff, again, thank you. Byron, as always, thank you for everything that you do. And gentlemen, you have a great night and stay
Andre,
safe.
Good to meet you, sir. Appreciate the chat.
All right.
Take
care. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.
How about them boys?
Byron, you weren't with us last year. You cannot be on the bandwagon this year, Byron. You're not allowed. You go look at my tweet. I said